Hi, welcome back. I am Sarah Noah, your host for the rest of this segment today, and we've been talking to some really interesting people in the area. And right now I have Jenny Darlington Person here from Music in the Mountains. We're glad to have you.
I'm really glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're excited to have you here. So tell us a little bit about Music in the Mountains, the organization, what it's all about, and what is your role?
I am the executive director at Music in the Mountains. Have been there about 5.5 years in that role. It started about 45 years ago almost, with a group of local residents who wanted to bring high quality live classical music to Nevada County. And so it grew out of that. And today we have a community chorus. We bring in professional orchestras for concerts as well as chamber groups sometimes. We have some really fantastic education programs in our schools. About 1,000 kids a semester are doing a program in K through kindergarten through third grade. And then we also have after-school music lessons and a youth orchestra. In fact, the youth orchestra has a concert Tuesday night at 7 p.m. at Sierra College.
Nice. That's fantastic. And so what all do? You do personally there as executive director? And everything?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I made a joke in a staff meeting the other day that my one goal for our summer festival this year is that I don't actually clean any bathrooms this year.
Oh, that's a good goal. Because you have executive in your title, you probably shouldn't have to clean bathrooms.
You never know what's going to happen with these big concerts, especially our July 3rd concert, it's been a tradition for about 30 years. We do a big celebration of American music, American composers, and American songs, and we celebrate our veterans. But it's a big thing for one day, especially with the holiday the next day. So it's always a rush to load out. Sometimes we're there till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
And where is that going to be held this year?
This year's really exciting. We've been trying to find a solution for a permanent type of a venue for it. And this year we're partnering with the North Star House. And
really? Okay.
Yes. And so it's going to be the first time we've ever done it there. And we're working together to do some improvements on their west lawn, and we'll see how it goes.
It's a beautiful venue.
It'll be gorgeous. Yeah, we're very excited. I mean, there's a lot of wonderful, venues in town, indoor and outdoor. So we're pretty fortunate in that regard.
Exciting. Yeah, that's a great place. So you mentioned programs in schools and program for young people. Are they all schools, or are there some outside extracurricular stuff that people who have children who are interested in music could be involved in?
Well, so a couple years ago, we started an after-school beginning instrument lesson program, and we're at, I think, 6 schools where we have professional music educators go teach lessons. So we have a strings class.
Okay.
We have a couple of recorder classes this year. We have winds and brass and that kind of thing. So depending on the needs of the school and the interest of their students, we'll provide a class. And it's about 10 weeks. It kind of gets gets them a try at a different instrument to see if they might like it, and then they can continue another 10 weeks if they're interested. And that's been great. And then once they've had enough practice, a year or so, they can join our youth orchestra, which is also an after-school program.
That's fantastic. And what's the age range of the youth orchestra?
In the youth orchestra, it goes anywhere from about 3rd grade up to high school.
Okay.
And we would have summer, we would have a Sierra College or a local. The issue is most of our kids, they graduate from high school and they move away. But any of the kids that stay in town and want to continue would be allowed to continue as well.
That's great. So as far as the choral work goes, is that adults only? Do you have young people's chorus or plans for that?
Right now, typically the chorus is adults, but we have allowed kids to join.
Okay.
Well, not kids, teens,
right,
high school age, have auditioned. And one of the things that's challenging though is, my kids are now in their early 20s, and there is dance and choir and soccer and so much to do that oftentimes they just have so much going on at school. They don't have time for us, but we definitely will take them if they want to do it.
They're busy. So are you a musician yourself?
I'm a singer.
Okay.
I took 9 months of piano as a teenager, and my mom said, "You never practiced, so I'm not paying for that anymore." And I didn't blame her. I'm like, she's not wrong. I don't.
That makes sense.
But actually, when I was very little, my parents sang, and they still do, sang in the Music in the Mountains chorus. So I grew up going to Music in the
that's
Mountains
wonderful.
concerts,
That's
and that's
fantastic.
how I ended up where I am now. Is that I joined the choir and then joined the board and then
And there you
got
are.
talked into this.
That's great. So what are some things upcoming besides the one at the North Star House that you mentioned, July 3rd?
So that's our last concert of Summerfest, and it's 3 weekends of concerts. We have one called Opening Night in the Garden with a really fun vocal and instrumental group, and that one is a full dinner. It's a dinner at a private residence, a little bit fancy.
Nice.
It's fun. Then the next weekend we have just one of my favorite performers of all time. Her name's Carrie Hennessy. She has been a soloist for us for many years. She's just so fun, and she's such a fantastic singer, one of the best sopranos I've ever heard. In fact, my husband and I were at a concert in Carnegie Hall last week, or the week before, whatever. And there was a really great soprano singing. It's Carnegie Hall. And he leans over and he goes, "She's really good, but she's no Carrie." And so Carrie is going to do a one-woman show for us that she's been preparing
Great.
for a couple of years.
Wow.
And it's going to be super fun, lots of storytelling and lots of beautiful music. That's going to be at the Center for the Arts on June 22nd.
Okay.
And then exactly 1 week after that, we have our Music in the Mountains Orchestra is coming to town. And the soloist for that, her name is Amarin Olmeda. We discovered Amarin at a youth competition we had here in town when she was 7 years old, and she won the whole thing, like high school kids and
Wow.
everything. She has since gone on to perform with the Oakland Symphony, and I think she's going to perform this summer with the Philadelphia Symphony.
Oh my goodness.
She studies music at the New England Conservatory in Boston.
Okay.
So she is just phenomenal. She's played with Classical Tahoe, just all over the place, and she's so talented and so fun. And she's going to play the Mozart Violin Concerto number 3. And
I'd
that,
probably know it if I heard it.
yeah.
So how can people get involved if you? Oh wait,
There's one more concert
Sorry.
that
one
I
more
haven't mentioned.
concert. All right.
On July 1st, at Nevada Union High School, our chorus is doing a really popular, really fun Carmina Burana.
Oh yeah.
So
that's a
it
great-
has a 60-plus player orchestra.
Yeah,
It has
beautiful
an
piece of
80
music. Yeah.
person choir, and that's one of those ones you're like, I've never heard of that one, and then you listen to
You've
any
heard it. You've
commercial,
heard it.
any
Yeah.
movie. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's all over TikTok even now that I
Yeah,
I mean, it's
sadly,
just used
yeah.
a lot. So
So if people are interested, we have a lot of artists in this community. If they're interested in being part of the choir, part of the orchestra, do you have an audition process or?
we do.
How does that work?
So the orchestra is a professional orchestra, and they're hired by our artistic director,
Okay.
Ryan Murray. But also the chorus is audition, but it's all local community members. And you can email info@musicinthemountains.org for more information. You can also go to our website, musicinthemountains.org. If you want more information about the upcoming concerts, Monday night, we're doing a Zoom program called Mondays with the Maestro, where Ryan Murray's going to
Oh,
talk about all the different music that we're doing on the show, on the concert. So you can also find out about that at musicinthemountains.org.
that's great. So who is your favorite composer? Oh, hard, tough question.
My favorite current choral composer is probably, his name's Dan Forrest. We've done several of his pieces, and I love performing his works.
And what part do you sing?
Well, I used to be, for a long, long time, I was an alto, but Carrie Hennessy talked me into trying soprano this year. So
Ooh.
I will be,
That's a challenge.
challenging myself with the Carmina Burana to sing
That's a
soprano
challenge. That's
for the
fantastic.
first time since I was in high school.
Do you have a favorite classical composer that you like?
I don't know.
That's a tough
I
one,
really
too.
love Mozart. I mean, that feels so cliche.
No, it doesn't.
Really
Mozart's
love.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
love Mozart. I love a lot of the older stuff. The Mozart, the Bach, Beethoven.
Yeah. Do you play an instrument? You're a singer. Okay. But we
I
know about
tried,
the
I
piano.
tried.
We know about the piano.
I tried the flute too. It didn't work either.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of work, and I'm so grateful that you are bringing music into the schools because that's not always a priority. in the educational system. And it's been sad as a musician too, to see some of these musical programs in schools kind of drop by the wayside. So we're excited that you're working with kids
Well,
too.
and the hardest thing is the schools really want them.
Yeah, we do.
They've been cut so much. The funding for them isn't there. And so what we're able to do is bring people in and share the burden of the cost by applying for grants and things like that. And
Is
so
that most
makes-
of your funding, grant or
A lot
donations, I would
well,
assume
most
as
of
well?
our funding is individual donations or business donations, but for our education programs, we have been pretty successful the last few years in getting government grants as well.
Well, and to build a musician, you have to start when they're young.
Oh, yeah.
And if they don't have those programs when they're children, we have that issue at our school too. The kids aren't normally going to pick up the trumpet as a freshman in high school.
No, it's really hard.
If they don't have some musical base, they're not going to continue working on it. So
No, well, because it takes so many hours to become good at it that
it's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. You need to start young so you get there. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I appreciate that you guys are working with our young people because they need it. Music is powerful
Yeah.
and important, and I'm excited to hear more about what you guys are doing and your concerts at the summertime. We're looking forward to that. Is there anything else you'd like to share about music and
Oh, I do have one more thing.
please?
One of the main things that keeps our concerts affordable in the summertime is we host our musicians in people's houses.
Oh.
So if you have a spare guest room that you might be willing to host a musician, please email info@musicandthemountains.org.
great.
And someone will interview you about that. that'd
And
be
what
great.
would the time frame be for?
Around June 28th to July 4th. They'd be leaving in the morning on July
that's
4th.
a week-ish.
It's about it's 6 nights, I think.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
That's great.
People develop lifelong relationships with
know.
their musicians,
That's
and
great.
they come year after year. It's
That's
really
great. That's great. Well, we're so glad to have you here, and we're so glad to hear about Music in the Mountains. And I wish you the best of luck and all of you have a lot of work on your plate coming forward with all the concerts and figuring out who's getting housing. And again, as a teacher, I really appreciate you getting music to our kids. It's so important.
Well,
and we really appreciate that.
I appreciate the teachers who let us come into their classrooms and trust us to teach their kids. That's a huge thing
That
too.
is a big deal.
And also, it's not just me. We have a wonderful staff and a lot of volunteers. So if you want to volunteer, again,
There you go.
info@musicandthemountains.org, and musicandthemountains.org, there is a form you can fill out to become a volunteer and help out.
And what areas do you need people? Just everywhere?
Everything. Parking attendants and ushers and everybody's favorite bartenders, servers, people to handwrite letters, just so much stuff.
So
like
many
we have
things to do.
something for everyone. Production help,
Yeah, Nevada County media people
Yeah,
can come and help.
anybody.
Well, we thank you for your time. We appreciate you being here with us today, and I look forward to hearing some more music, especially at North Star House. That's
Yeah,
such a
it's gonna be-
beautiful
it's gonna be-
venue.
it's gonna be
Don't miss
great.
that one.
Very
It's really
excited.
fantastic. So, thank you, Jenny, for being with us, and we wish you the best in your upcoming crazy season with Music in the Mountains. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks
We
for having
appreciate
me.
it. Yeah, it's great. Thank you.
13 years ago, my much younger husband, that was 17 years younger than me, passed away. Then 2 days later, my dad passed away. Then a couple weeks later, my brother passed away. So I had all my men I lost, all within a short time. Well, when I came back from the Bay Area from having my husband cremated, I came back here and I had a ride with a family member. And they had informed me that since my husband died, I won't have his finances anymore, that I won't be able to feed my dogs and my bird, and that I had to get rid of them. And I looked at my family member and said, "What are you talking about? They're all I have left. No matter what, I was going to keep them. I was determined." So I looked around, asked questions to people and everything, and I found the pet pantry. And they were willing to help feed my dogs and my parrot.
Owning and caring for a pet promotes health, reduces loneliness, and brings joy and comfort for our seniors, especially those that are homebound. Without the pet food pantry, our seniors are at risk for losing their cherished companion.
Pet food pantry programs are donation funded. Without assistance, many seniors share their meals or go without their meals to provide for their pets. This is not healthy for either the pet or the senior. Help your older neighbors by helping their pets. Donate or volunteer today.
They have helped me so much, you have no idea.